wise. I live his in my life. I stay strong, I stay wise. I live his in my life. I stay strong, I stay wise. I live his in my life. While we wait.
What an amazing day it is to be alive. Hello, good day to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're located. I'm Patrice Bryant, and I am the host of While We Wait. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. And thank you to my podcast listeners. We are so glad that you're here. And I'm here today. I don't have a guest. I'm here today just to talk a little bit about um, a topic that's very, very near and dear to my heart. Um, I was not on the last couple of weeks because I was doing some self care, which was very, very much needed. And I am back rejuvenated, energized, recharged, and ready to go. I'm flying solo here, so bear with me. So I'm so glad that you're here and you're coming on. I see people coming in. Welcome, welcome to While We Wait. Again, I'm Patrice Bryant, and I just want to chat a little bit today. I love interaction, so please feel free to type in the chat for those that are viewing. Our podcast listeners, you can find me on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook. Facebook under While We Wait or R. Patrice Bryant for YouTube, and the same for Instagram if you want to contact me. I'm always looking for new guests. I do have some new guests lined up, but if there's a topic that you're interested in, or if you are someone that would like to come on and chat with me, I would love to have you, love to interview you and promote you if you have a service or if you have a book or something that you're selling. I would love to have you on. So let's get to it. I won't be very lengthy today, but I wanted to talk about life planning, future planning. Also, I want to talk about resources for seniors. I found myself 3 years ago in a situation of becoming my mother's caregiver, and it happened so quickly. I wasn't prepared, and there's just so much that you have to get up and running. And even today, I still don't have all of the answers. I do have like a resource manual. It's just a little. Everybody's situation is different, and it put me in a situation that, um, looking at it now, it lets me know that it's all going to work so much better, not just for me, but for everyone, if we would plan, if we would prepare. Oftentimes, we prepare parties, we prepare vacations, we prepare meals, we prepare, and I understand when we deal with, especially end of life, it there's a fear factor. However, um, the more I mature, and now that I'm taking care of my mother, I'm seeing how I want to leave my children in a way that, it's challenging. It's just a life challenge, but I would like to leave them in a way, and not I'm not just talking about in transitioning or in death, but even in getting older. If I should get to a point where I need some type of assistance, I want to be prepared for it. I don't want to be a burden on them. I want to do as much as I can do, and there are things that we can do. I found out some things as I was started this journey, even for myself. One of them being the long-term care life insurance. And a lot of times people think, oh, well, I can't afford another bill. Well, I have to say, you really can. I believe we can do more with proper education and planning and shifting. There is a way to do things. And then just having life insurance, period, is so very important. We see so many people who um, they transition and there's nothing in place, and the whole burden is left on someone else. And there's a lot of ignorance too. I'm not calling anyone ignorant, but there's a lot of ignorance because a lot of people just feel like, oh well, when I'm gone, I'm gone. But when you leave, you do leave something that needs to be done for somebody else, um, your children, your family. And the more they're prepared, it will help with, of course, they're going to miss you, the tears, but there's just, it will help. It will help, and it's not morbid to think about um, end of life. I actually took an end of life class. Um, I was thinking at one point of being a chaplain, and I took an end of life training, and it was very good for me, just so we can think about that time of life, and even when others are dealing with bereavement. So it's just something to think about. I know people don't want to think about it. They're like, oh, I have time. I don't want to talk about this now, but it's really something that we should think about. It is an investment. It's another way of investing in you, and it assists your family. Um, so just I don't have a lot of resources. I actually wanted to do some interaction because if you all had some resources, I would love to know about them. I know there's agency on aging. There are respite programs, and respite is like a short term for people that need assistance. But everybody's situation is different, and the thing about it is, the less you have, the more you assistance you can get. That's just the way it is. If you have property, one situation is if you have property and you're living in it, you can still get a certain amount of assistance. It's a little different when you have property and you don't live in it because I would imagine they look at that as if it were an investment property. So then it gets a little interesting there, and you may have to come out of pocket for uh, like private aids or those kinds of things. I don't have a lot of information about that. I'm still figuring that one out. Welcome again. Welcome, welcome. I am just talking a little bit about the resources for seniors, agency on aging. There's the National Family Caregiver Support Program. There's the Choices Program. And this is just for Connecticut. If you're not in Connecticut, there you can look up agency on aging or those type of things. There are programs to assist you. Then there's private care management that's provided by some area agencies on aging. Those that are coming on, if you know of any resources that people can utilize for seniors, and again, I was just stating that everyone's situation is different, and the less you have, the more assistance you can get. You can get soup to nuts. But if you have property and you're not living in that property, then it becomes a little interesting. So, and I was saying, I believe they look at the property if you don't live in it as an investment property. And sometimes and one of the things I'm looking to do is to speak with an elder care attorney. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So good to see you. Um, those that are on YouTube and Facebook. So glad to see you on, and to my podcast listeners, thank you for being here. Just talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart because a lot of times I'm learning so much on this journey of caring for my mother, and I'm looking to see how can I make if I find myself in a position that I need assistance later on in life. What does that look like? How can I properly prepare for it? And I have to tell you, it's not just like needing an aid or those types of assistance. I'm looking at our responsibility now while we yet have the strength to do some things. Uh, in regards to life insurance, I would strongly suggest to millennials, especially you're starting your families, life insurance is crucial. And sometimes you can be like, oh, I'll put it off, but you need it for you need it for your children. And if you have a senior or parent, it's good to take out life insurance on them as well. And there are smaller policies, like some at banks that you can get 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. That's not a lot of money. I do have a smaller one like that, but then I do have another one. for myself, and I'm going to take out another one as well. Now that I'm seeing this whole process of what is necessary. And then the good thing about life insurance, if there's something major that you need to do, you can borrow off of that life insurance. It's just a good way. It's a good thing to have, um, and you can set the next generation up for their wealth as well. So it's just something to think about. But life planning, again, we plan birthday parties, we plan retirement parties, we plan all kinds of things, and we just don't like to take the time to think about future planning. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Um, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but a lot of times we were told, don't spend all your money in one place. But we honestly need to be educated in where do I put my money. Even, I look at it when I was, staying with my grandparents and I was making money. You know, if we can educate our young people now, even if it's put $5 away a week and don't touch it, money accumulates. Um, so it's so important what and how we do our finances, but not just finances, also our health. A lot of pharmaceuticals. I was having this conversation today. Pharmaceuticals is business, big business, and doctors. There's some doctors that actually get um, some kind of what do you call it, buyback. Oh, they get money. That's that. I can't even think of the correct word, but they get money for giving out certain medications, and it's all designed to keep people. It's not to cure; it's to manage. And a lot of medication we don't necessarily need, and if you do need it, that's okay. But there are some things we need to do our due diligence as well. What can I do to live a greater life health wise? um, there's some things that we know we can do. We eat the wrong things. We don't exercise any. We don't drink enough water. And you have to go. You have to listen to your body. We really do need to, maybe if you are able to, go to a naturopathic doctor and find out. Get that blood work done. Even with your regular doctor, get that blood work done. Let them read to you. Let them explain to you what those things mean. Well, what is this? Um, what is this? Find out what it is and what is out of balance, what's not in place. Find out what it is, and then ask how and what do I need to do to get this back where it needs to be? Whether it's diabetes, whether it's high blood pressure, especially people of color. We basically deal with a lot of the same things that's been in our family, but it's not unto death, and we can get ourselves out of it. Diabetes, you don't have to live with it. We do have to do a change of life. We do have to do a shift in how we eat, and it's our responsibility. I'm just, there's so many people that they get it, and it's like, oh, like I don't know what it is, but I have to tell you, as much as I like soda, as much as I'm a foodie. So as much as I like a lot of things, I'm not willing to risk my health, and I don't have to, you know, I don't have to deny myself and just be like, oh, I can't have it, I can't have it, I can't have it. Everything in moderation. But if you are high risk of anything, it really is our responsibility to ourselves, but also to our families to do better. Like honestly, like we don't little tweaks. I'm finding that I'm working on something right now. So today is day one again. I stopped drinking coffee. Now I know coffee is very drying to my vocal cords. I didn't stop it for that reason this time, but I'm just doing an experiment to see. Okay, if I don't drink coffee, how will that affect my body? And then I'll do something else. But we definitely have to do better as far as our health. We have to look to see, what does 60 look like? What does 70 look like? Or what do I want it to look like? What is 80? Do you know eight? Wait, let me jump to my first employer, who is 95. He just turned 95. He is in amazing shape, and I laugh with his son a lot because I used to go get his lunch, and it was either a tuna melt or it was a salad from a deli that we went to a lot. And I was like, wow, maybe I need to eat tuna melts and salad because I want to be like that when I get 95. But you do have to take responsibility to keep yourself. We're not leaving here as quick as we did. Well, I mean, I understand COVID, but relatively, where people are living longer. So my thing is, if I'm going to live longer, I want to live in such a way that is healthy. I still will be able to be active. Um, I have a good mind. Even with Alzheimer's and dementia, they tell us, keep your mind activated. What are we doing to keep our mind activated more than glued to the TV, glued to Facebook, the social medias? There's a fruit fly in here. What are we doing to stimulate our mind? What are we doing to make those neurons and whatever fires in there, those trees? You know, what are we doing? So, look at your family, look at the family history. And I have determined my main thing now is some things are non-negotiable. So there's some things that I look and I see that in my family, I'm not doing that, and I will find a way not to do it. I don't have to, and neither do you. Another thing is we just briefly a living will, guys. One day we are going to check out of here. We're going to leave this earth. We're going to leave here. So um, it's not morbid, but it is a conversation. It- yeah, I feel like I'm pleading, but it is a conversation, and when those conversations are had, it makes it so much easier for everyone. I'm not morbid. I have one grandchild and one on the way who will be here in February, and I'm going to raise them up when they're with me. I remember my grandmother used to always say, um, "I'm not always going to be here." And I'd be like, "Oh, mama, da, da, da." And I'm not going to be morbid with them, but I do want to have conversations. So there's a healthy expectation, not a fear. And yes, nobody can take away the pain and the hurt of when a loved one leaves us. I get that part, but to build the relationships. So when my grandmother did finally leave me, I was able to say, you know what she deposited in my life, no one can take that from me, and it has benefited me through. Thank God for her, because had it not been for the goodness that she deposited, to say, I would have needed a lot more prayer. I already needed prayer, but thank God for what was deposited. So just some things to think about, finances, and how we think about our finances, how saving, and the mindset that I can't save. Yes, yes, you can, but it's just to figure out how. And if you don't have to know everything, there are people who do this who will help you. I have my life insurance guy. As a matter of fact, I had him on talking about Bitcoin, but he does financial literacy. So Urban League, which is, I don't know if they're everywhere, but I know they're in Connecticut. They have free classes. There are free financial literacy classes that will assist you with budgets. If you say, at this point in my life, I want to, start a nest egg, it's never too late. But I strongly suggest that Gen Zs and millennials. Let me tell you, when I was 30, I never thought I never thought, I'm not 60, but I never I never thought 60 would be so close. Like, the years go by so quick. I still can't believe I'm the age I am now. And I'm like, wow, if I'm looking at, if I would have done this, it's okay. It's okay. Start where you are. It's never too late to start. I just don't trust Social Security. I run a uh, career development program for seniors who, once they may retire or find themselves out of work, and they have to reinvent themselves and get, some of their skills are obsolete. They have to get themselves back up and running and learn how things are done now, and with the whole digital age. And you have to keep reinventing yourself. You have to keep uh, investing in you. You have to keep up with what's going on. You have to keep your mind stimulated. But anyway, that program is called Maturity Works. It's the CSEP program, SCSEP. And I brought it up because they have this in every state. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. They have this program in just about every state. And if you find yourself in a situation that you need to get skills, um, this is one way that you can get it as well as receive a stipend while you're doing these trainings. And I went that route because oh my God, I just lost my thought. I went that route because it'll come back. It'll come back. I got a lot in my brain right now. But yes, Richard, creating a healthy lifestyle, staying connected mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually helps to address needs and prolong our lives. And that's the ticket. We have to look down the road. We have to look at tomorrow as well as today. What do you want to look like? What is it you want to do? Um, I was saying, I don't trust that Social Security alone will allow me the same lifestyle that I'm used to. And you have to plan for that, whether it's your 401k, all of that. But I'm looking at when I get you know to a life shift place. I want to be able to still enjoy life. I want to be able to, and not just doing things, but my health, my physical, my mental, and that takes work now. And we just kind of just keep putting blinders on and going past, and saying, "Oh, I have time, I have time, I have time." From 25 to now, I have to say it went so very quickly, and we have to do something every day for our tomorrow. Um, it is it's our responsibility to keep investing in ourselves. I don't want to get to the end and and my children love me, but I don't want to get to, I'm saying, the end. I don't want to get down the road and I may need some assistance because I have gotten older. I pray the Lord keep me so I can do as much as I can for myself. But if that happens, again, there are and I said it before, there's a long-term care life insurance, and I didn't find that out until I started this journey. So what happens with that is, with the long-term care life insurance, if you find yourself in a situation that you need assisted living, or if you have to live with someone, that those finances are there to assist you with your needs. Um, it's real interesting, especially if you have something. Honestly, if the more you have, the more you need to prepare, because the less you have, the more assistance you can get. But I have to say, that's only right now. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. We don't know if Social Security will be around. We don't know. We don't know. So it's really something to think about, um, and really keeping yourself educated. I've always said I am the YouTube queen, so I'm always researching how can I do something better. Long-term life insurance is not talk. It's not, Bev. I didn't even know about long-term life insurance until I started with my financial person, and he mentioned it to me. And as he was talking to me, we were working to get my mother situated. And as he was talking, I was like, "No, no, no! I need that. I need that for me." It's definitely something, and it's a conversation that you need to have with your family. Now, my son and I have an agreement. And I said, now I'm going to do my due diligence to keep myself healthy, active. I want to be able to keep up with my grandchildren. However, um, if I should need some help and I need to come live with you, I said, put me on the other wing of the house. And I told him what I wanted. I want a cook, I want a chef, and I want a driver. And I said, you don't have to come see me, but please send my grandchildren to see me, and I'll be good. So that, it's a joke, but I'm not joking. There's some truth in every joke. But yes, long-term life insurance is very, very necessary because we just don't know, and it's better to be prepared. And it's not a point the finger thing. It's like, once I never like that's one thing I never heard about. So, and then there's something else that I am looking at. I'm looking at it's not morbid. Here we go. This is planning, and I actually invited a gentleman on. I won't call his name, but he didn't answer me because he would have been able to answer some questions. He runs a funeral home. But I am looking at prepaid burial. And I did call them a while ago. And one of the things I was informed that I didn't know is that when you do prepaid burial, and it could be 25 a month, $50 a month, and then if you can't do 1 month, it's okay. Maybe you'll catch up at another time. But all of that money that you do for prepaid burial, it accrues interest. I didn't know that. So I had a brief conversation a while ago, but I am going to go back to that. Um, be- I'm just looking at how can I prepare um, for tomorrow and not be a burden. It's going listen. I'm working to have a wonderful life with my family, so that when I check out, they're gonna they're gonna miss me. I apologize. It's a fruit fly. They're gonna miss me, but at least I will have left some goodness and some change in their pockets. That's what I'm working to do, to leave an inheritance, and not them not having to clean up my messes. And we can. It just really takes some investigating. And if anyone is interested, yeah, I didn't either. So Beverly is saying that's interesting. I never knew how prepaid burial worked. I actually made a phone call. I set up an appointment. I think it may have snowed and I wasn't able to go, but I am going to go back. I believe you can actually check off what you want, or get an idea of what the amount of what you select, um, and that's what you'll start paying on. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Somebody gave me some information, but I'd rather wait to hear it from the horse's mouth. But it's a good thing to have. That's all. Um, because then, if I can pay my burial and my funeral arrangements off, then my life insurances can go to my children, the beneficiaries. So it's just something to think about. Just something. It's a great time to invest in you. We have to be forward thinkers right now, because we don't know. Well, we never knew what tomorrow held, but this is definitely a different time. We've never lived in this kind of time before. Exactly, less burden on the family, and in, we don't know what. This has been such an interesting time during COVID, and we're in this next wave now, so we have to think differently. We have to invest in ourselves. We have to do some life planning, some future planning. Um, what does your life shift look like? I'm not saying retirement, because to me, when you say retirement, that means I'm just going to stop. So I'm calling it a life shift. I'm already looking at my life shift, and I want to be able to segue what I want to do. So once I get to that age, I'm good to go. So, it's really important that we look at what we're able to do. What are we good at? And then find a way to build on that. I'm looking at people on YouTube, um, or different social medias. I'm a part of a podcast group, and I'm just looking at how many people are really taking their strengths or their services. People will always need services, or a product. Or, I don't know. You might just be a good thinker. You might be a good planner. Um, it's really important that we find out what that is, and work on that. So we just don't know. Create those side hustles. That's what they call it. Create the side hustles and make it happen for yourself. Yeah. So that's basically what I want to talk about. I really wish that this gentleman, who I'm going to allow to remain nameless. I feel like being bad and calling his name, but I had some questions. But I will get somebody back on. I just think it's something that we need to talk about, because death is not going anywhere. Death will be around. Now, we're not doing premature death, but if I can go to the Bible for a while, really quick, those prophets of old, before they died, look at King David, was it Jacob? They called their children to them before they closed their eyes and gave them their blessings or whatever they had to say to them. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe we do know when we get close to the end. I'm not certain. However, if that is the case, I want to be able to build the relationships now and also be able to bless them because the Bible does talk about leaving an inheritance to your children. I know some people don't care about it. They're like, oh, when I die, I'm not going to leave anything for them. Da, da, da. Okay, whatever. You do what you want to do. But it is something to talk about. We're never too old to learn something. Absolutely, never too old. So that's about it. I just wanted to really talk about it, and if anyone has any resources for the whole uh, senior resources, people who need aids. Um, a lot of times we have to go the route of private aids. Um, I'm still learning this stuff, but the reason why I came back with looking ahead is because I'm learning a lot in this journey. That if I properly prepare, um, keep myself healthy, then it's going to be a lot easier down the road. So that's about it. That's about it today. We'll be back next Thursday, and I should have a guest with me. I have to interview some new guests, so I don't know who that is yet. And I am gonna bring someone up here to answer those questions of what can we be doing now. Some more about even the pre-burial thing, or either I'll go get the information and bring it back. But it's something to think about. No, doesn't mean you're gonna die today or tomorrow. It is a very wise thing to do to consider um, the end times. You know, it because it's gonna happen. It's inevitable. We're definitely gonna check out. Our prayer is that there is no premature death and that we don't leave here until we have completed our earthly assignment. Yeah. Well, that's about it for today. Lastly, I will, since I promote everybody else, I will promote myself. I am Arpatrice Bryant, and I am over the C Sharp Music Group, and we are excited to be working with beginner piano people that are interested, beginner piano players, those that are interested in taking piano lessons and starting from the beginning. We are creating an amazing foundation for their future journey. You can start at this platform and go anywhere you want to go. I have 3 slots left for this particular season. Our classes start at on the week of September 6th. It can be an online training. So, uh, Miss Cynthia down there in Florida, let your people know what I'm doing. I do online lessons, and it's very affordable, and you will see the fruit of what the beginners are doing. Of course, practice will get you where you want to be quicker. But I have 3 more slots available, and I'm looking to close that gap up by the end. Well, today's Thursday. By Sunday, I would love. Thank you, Beverly. I would love to close that gap up so I can start focusing on my curriculum for my new students. So, if you know anyone, if you would like to give the gift of music to someone, I'm teaching sight reading, so you can read anything you want to read, play anything you want to play, ear training, music theory, keyboard navigation, and that part is simply learning all of your keys, um, your chords for each scale, and so on and so forth. So, all right, guys, that's about it for today. I look for you next Thursday, right here at 4:30 on While We Wait. Remember, be strong, be wise. Keep enhancing your life while we wait. Tell somebody about While We Wait. We've got some great stuff coming up, and I would love for them to be a part. Thank you, those that are on YouTube. Thank you, Facebook. And thank you to my podcast listeners. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye bye.